Go ahead and crank that water up, my man. Whee! Man, we are about to go in. Got 50 pounds of seafood inside the house. Got some authentic seasoning from Louisiana. We're about to do a seafood boil in this 90-quart seafood boiler. We are about at a rolling boil. At this point, we're gonna be doing 2 different bags of seasoning. We've got one for the heat, we've got one for the spices. Let's go in. Everybody that I've talked to, all the OGs from Louisiana, they all pretty much say this is the GOAT right here. Ooh. All right, we're gonna be dumping in the Louisiana one to go ahead and mix. Woo! You could feel it. You could feel the spices in your face right now. That's some deliciousness. Now that we have the seasonings in there, we're gonna be going ahead and dumping in our lemons, our oranges, our garlic, and our onions. We're gonna go ahead and cut them all in half. Mr. Nick, if you could come over here and give me a hand. We are gonna be going ahead and squeezing all the juice from these into the water, and then we're gonna go ahead and dump them in as they are. The citrus is definitely going to be able to add some nice flavor to this. It's going to balance out that heat really nice. The lemons are bought from detweilers, so they are locally sourced. I'm all about that local source stuff. Make sure I'm careful over here while I don't chop off any of Nick's fingers or mine. All right, I think that's gonna call it for the citrus. Now, we are going to be adding in the onions. You do not peel the onions. If you peel the onions, they fall apart. We're gonna be just cutting these in half and putting them in as they are. All right, that's it for the onions. Now we're gonna go ahead and move on to the garlic. The garlic, a lot of times people are kind of conflicting, whether or not you need to cut the tops off, whether or not you need to go ahead and dump them in as whole. So what we're gonna go ahead and do for today, we're gonna go ahead and take some, we're gonna dump them in as a whole. Then we're gonna go ahead and take the other ones, we're gonna go ahead and cut the tops off just so we could appease everybody. Go ahead and cut the little top off. Mr. Nick, if you do the honor. I love some garlic, so we're not gonna be shy today on these at all. And then for measure, we'll toss the rest in. At this point, we are close to a rolling boil. We're gonna go ahead and put the potatoes in right now. They're gonna take about 8 to 10 minutes to go ahead and start cooking, get the flavors in. Then we're gonna go ahead and start dumping in the shrimp, the crawfish, and the crab. All right, let's set a timer. We got 5:17 right now, so at 5:25, we're gonna go ahead and start dumping in the other stuff. Right now we got some Troy Landry's, shoot 'em, and Dewey sausage. I picked this one specifically because it's got that smoked flavor to it that's just gonna add a whole lot of flavor. Plus it's gluten-free. It's gonna be able to make my stomach feel nice and good. We're gonna go ahead and add in 3 different packages of these. Instead of throwing them in as wholes, I am gonna chop them up a little bit just so they're a little bit easier for people to kind of eat and handle after we're done. It's nice and long, not too thick. Seems like the preferred method. Sorry, Mama. If you guys can't hear, that's my mom laughing in the background. All right. So I am currently surrounded in sausages. I currently look like a girl in Oniko. The sausage is probably one of my favorite parts, and it doesn't even really need time to cook at all. All it's doing at this point is just heating up and just adding flavor to the whole pot. Woo! All right. We're gonna do some nice chunks to it. Make it to the point where there's nice handheld sizes, but not too big, not too small. Check it out, beautiful color. That is gonna taste amazing. So I was wondering how much sausage I was gonna need. I definitely did more than enough, but the sausage, corn, and potatoes are something that I felt like would still be good tomorrow. So I felt like people wouldn't mind taking stuff like that home with them. We're gonna dump in the last of the sausage. We're gonna let that go ahead and finish cooking. We're gonna go ahead and dump in the mushrooms, the crawfish, the shrimp, and the crab coming up here in just a few minutes. Now we've got 35 pounds of crawfish sent in from Louisiana. We play no games. These are alive. They have been in the ice to make the suffering a little bit more tolerable. We're gonna go ahead and untie these and dump these johns in. Beautiful. All right. I am actually gonna dump the shrimp in first. Check out how beautiful these are. Wild caught, we don't do any of the fish farmed. I actually am allergic to those. I can't eat fish farmed, so I have to do wild caught. These are Argentinian. That was a little over 8 pounds of shrimp. Now, we're about to play no games. Woo! We got a dead John right here. We don't eat those. Those you toss. The rest, these are going to go into the belly. You know to pay attention for the straight tails. You do not eat a straight tail crawfish. That will make you sick. We're going to stir all these up. And then these are going to cook. Can somebody set their timer for about 8 minutes? Fortunately, the mushrooms absorb the flavor really fast. These are going to be one of the last things that we add in. We're going to go ahead and dump these Johns in right here. At the very end, we're going to go ahead and put the corn in, which is why the corn is not in there right now. In order to go ahead and get the crawfish to stop cooking at the end, we're going to be turning the flame off immediately, but we're going to be dumping in frozen corn. I don't want to put in ice. I don't want to dilute those flavors. I want to taste everything. The corn absorbs the flavor really, really fast, so that's going to be the last thing that we put in. At that point, we're going to let it soak for 20 minutes and get eaten. All right, we are at our mark. Everything is nice and cooked. The boil is about done. We are going to be turning the flame off and letting this thing chill. At this point, what we're going to want to do is the crawfish doesn't actually start absorbing any of the flavor until it actually starts cooling off. So at this point, we got the frozen corn. We're going to go ahead and let that sit there and chill for 20 minutes, and we're going to get cooking and eating. We got some big pieces in there. We got some small pieces. I figured we're going to have some big people and little people. We might as well have something for both of them. I am going to be a little careful that way I don't splash my legs again because I wasn't feeling great. We are way beyond the max line, and I like to push any limits. So I think that's absolutely perfect because we're about to dump 10 more pounds of stuff in here. All right. You guys ready? These are some snow crabs that I picked up from Detweilers yesterday. Shout out Detweilers. Everything is sourced, very local. So everything that we have in here is either local or farmed fresh. All right, let's go ahead and stir those in. And in 20 minutes, this is gonna be looking amazing. I do wanna make a point too. I've had some hurt feelings over the lack of invites on this. There's quite a bit of investment in this, but the people that are here been people that have been supportive, been there for me for business, through personal. This is my thank you, my love back to everybody else. Food is one of my favorite things to enjoy. It's something that brings people together. It's a way to explore cultures, explore other people, and understand them and their families. I am super happy to be able to sit and have the privilege of being able to do this, but I'm also very happy that I've been able to explore the world and see that there's different things out there for us. This seafood boil is going to be one of the best. That water is looking nice and dark and flavorful. We've got about 4 minutes left. This thing is going to be ready to be separated from the liquid and eaten. Some people like to soak it for 30 minutes, and 30 minutes is probably more of my preference. But because we have all kinds of taste buds here, we're going to make it a little bit more accommodating to everybody's taste buds for the spices. So we're going to keep it at the 20-minute mark, but if people like it spicy, make it 30. What do you think, my man? Sergio is our transport from Louisiana, and when I was originally talking to him about the boil, I got a look of panic because it was just like, oh my God, this guy is going to do a boil that is going to come out absolutely disastrous. What do you think of the job so far, my brother?
So far, so good. Generally, you don't have a crawfish boil outside of Louisiana because it just doesn't taste the same. But this, so far, everything's on point. I love it.
Crawfish from Louisiana, it's got the same mud taste. Let's go. So we are at the 20-minute soak mark. I am salivating, hungry. We got everybody sitting inside ready to get down on this. So at this point, we're going to go ahead and separate all the seafood from the liquid, and we're going to go ahead and get eating. Let me go ahead and give it another quick stir. Looks nice. Ooh. All right. I'm going to have my man Sergio assist me as I go ahead and dump this forward because I know this is going to be a chore to lift up. Those corn look like they absorb the flavor very nice and perfect. We ready? Man, this has been a super successful seafood boil. As you see, I enjoyed myself. Nick started throwing his stuff in my pile. I'm not entirely sure what happened. But man, this was phenomenal. Had a great time, great people. I know a bunch of people here were trying it for the first time. Fortunately, I've had this before, but the experience just tops anything else I've ever had. Anybody else have a good time? Anybody else enjoy themselves? Let's go. We'll be sending people home with some leftovers. I'm going to be pulling some crawfish tails out for some seafood tomorrow. Going to be getting ready for the next one. We're going to try to do Korean barbecue for the next food video. But appreciate everybody tuning in and watching. Much love. Till next time.